blockchain is that people will build applications. We've seen fantastic applications. We've seen sparkles. We've seen Xtoads. We've seen all the various dexes. There's cloud funding. As at this, so I talk the way I do because I'm building the blockchain. My market isn't really, the end user. The people I need to talk to most are developers of applications. The people, essentially, the relationships I have to have are with developers. They're the people that are really, incredibly important to the long-term future of the network. The beauty of having a smart contract platform is that it makes development very, easy. And so if you have that utility and you have a community, it's a very attractive place for people to develop. So that's the first point. The second is really, as there's a number of protocols that have been outlined. And, as those essentially, as people build around those protocols, build out those protocols, it gives native functionality to certain networks that do not have that native functionality. The state connector provides a base level of native functionality to a network like Bitcoin, XRP, or Doge, where people could, once the state connector has been stood up by the nodes, once essentially people have added events to the client side, so it's a community job to add events to the client side. People can potentially buy NFTs directly with Doge, directly with XRP on Flare.
And then my second question, and it's a slightly selfish one for Reaper. So one of our things that we do is using basically XRP and USDC as a permanent fund that generates interest. But that's also one of our highest risk things because we have to go out and we have to stake that somewhere else. Is there, with Flare, I know early on there was talk of being able to decentralized stake your F assets and your XRP. Can you walk us through that a little bit and how that looks?
So I can't comment on things that are essentially built out by other teams, but we're there when that's shipped.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
All right. I think next we have Quantum Capital. Do you have a question for Hugo?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, Hugo. Thanks, everybody, for putting on this space. Quick question. Actually, a couple quick questions. Well, the first one is about the Coinbase airdrop. How confident we're hearing a lot of back and forth. We may not get it. Just wanted to see if you have any insight.
So they've confirmed they'll distribute the token.
Okay, great. But
they've confirmed they'll do it in H1. So the first half of 2023.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for answering that. And the second one is, where could you guide someone that's new in all of this, but has some experience with other web development as a resource where they can see how they could utilize the Flare network from a business perspective and from a development perspective?
Absolutely. So we've, the first thing I'd say is, take a basic course on writing smart contracts in Solidity, if you haven't already, and then head over to our docs site, which is getting better by the day as we've taken on a fair few docs people to help the ecosystem grow. So as things become, as things get shipped and as as the network solidifies and the people operating the network solidify, the whole experience will get easier and easier.
Great, thank you, Hugo.
Of course.
All right. And next, XRP Moonbaby, do you have a question for Hugo?
Yeah. Hey guys, how's it going? My question is for Hugo and kind of all the developers that are on the platform now, just to keep thought in mind. I've been using Songbird since day one. There's only one epoch a week, and a lot of the developers, if you're providing liquidity and whatnot, you have to remove it to claim delegation rewards, for half the week, because they don't provide it if you leave it on their platforms. So with this providing 2 epochs a week, it's going to be really hard to use other platforms or other dApps and still get your delegations. Is there going to be any help with that?
I mean, thinking about, say, like a DEX. Hello?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
I can hear you. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yep, yeah, I can hear you now.
But yeah.
Great. Are you talking about a DEX or?
Yeah, a DEX or just any of the apps. If I'm going to use Flare, to provide liquidity or for different aspects, how do you still get your delegations, especially if 85% of it's coming down the line? You're not really going to want to use your Flare if you're not going to be able to get delegation at the same time.
So first of all, you only need wrapped Flare. If FIP01 passes, you only need wrapped Flare to receive the tokens. But no reason why an application can't delegate for you, at least to a provider of their choice. But perhaps more importantly, they can certainly receive the wrapped Flare and pass it on to you. And they don't, you don't need to trust them. They can put that in the code.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. I'm always in the middle of typing something when somebody ends. All right, I have next up, Bless No Stress. What do you got for us?
Hey, thanks. I just wanted to clarify something that at least on the Sparkles app, you'd be able to use wrapped Flare or wrapped Songbird, and you can submit offers or have NFTs for sale in those, and then that stays in your custody. So you're still able to delegate, still able to earn rewards, and then still able to try to outwin your rewards on either selling or buying NFTs. So that's a unique utility that is not available on any other chain. So it's something that we've worked on and helped develop. So that's just one app that I can speak to.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you for doing that. I mean, for instance, with a DEX, there's no reason why, and I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that Flare Finance does this to some extent. I'm not certain if Pangolin does it yet, but I also believe that BladeSwap does it. When you send your token to a smart contract, essentially like a DEX, that's just going to an address, and that address can then delegate, and that they can pass on the rewards for you.
Perfect. That's what I thought. I knew Flare Finance had that, but I hadn't known about any others, and I use Oracle and Pangolin and a whole bunch of them. So I was just kind of surprised why one does it, but none of the other ones do. And if it's just something in the code they need to add, and maybe
we recommend it. The application that is essentially pooling Songbird or Flare.
Go ahead, Kingsman.
Yeah, thank you. So Hugo, the F asset system, is there any idea when that's going to come into play? And I know there's a team working on that, and is S assets still on the card? Because I know that was an initial pipeline. And just on top of that, is Songbird still going to be considered a governance token for Flare? So,
a separate team's working on, that concept. I just want to be very clear. Flare is the smart contract platform and the protocols around data. And if everything else is an application, those applications, if delivered, contribute to the ecosystem, but they may also fail. I'm absolutely, excited by the prospect of F assets and S assets, and we'll see when those ship. With regards to governance, it's certainly, I think it's already out there. I definitely remember writing an extensive thing on this and posting it. The governance on Flare is a two-stage system. So the way a governance vote would happen on Flare that comes from the community, not from the foundation. So there would be essentially 4 periods per year where a governance vote could happen from the community on Flare. In order for a governance, there's a staking system on Songbird where anyone can put up a potential governance vote for, let's call it like period 1 or period 2 or period 3 or period 4. And people stake to that proposal to Flare for a full vote. It's a bit like the sort of bicameral system of government.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is you created an infrastructure which allows developers to basically look at this and say, these are the nuances, these are the unique propositions that are essentially involved. Come build on it, because that'll give you a unique delivery point on so many areas that currently don't exist right now. So it's really created an infrastructure for development teams to say, okay, come on, let's build on. And, we talk about, the NFTs, we talk about the DEXs, but for me, there's so many applications that we haven't even thought about that are going to be coming to Flare.
About most is the state connector, and, people being able to do things with Bitcoin, Dogecoin, XRP, even without moving it to Flare in any capacity. People being able to trigger a smart contract on Flare through a payment that's a really nice piece of functionality. And then with the state connector, of course, it means that someone can build a bridge very simply between Songbird and Flare. That means that we now have 2 networks within the ecosystem. So we're already a multi-chain network with, very strong interoperability. We don't have time. Extremely simple to build that bridge.
No, I absolutely agree. And on this, we talked about this yesterday. So I can only imagine the root canal that is dealing with all the exchanges and finalizing distributions. Once this is passed, right, what is going to be the main focus of Flare and your top priorities as far as development? Because I'm going to throw John from FC under the bus here. He brought up a really valid point, which is, you got a fantastic product. It's nuanced, it's unique, it's different from anything else. It's interoperability, it's connect everything. Is there going to be a push from a marketing perspective to let more people know about it?
So, I'm not that much of a believer in trying to market to people to buy tokens. Like, where we will be pushing is pushing to market to developers and to, for ecosystem, essentially to get developers into the ecosystem. That's what, I'm interested in. I'm interested in educating developers, showing them how they can build products that couldn't be built previously.
Okay, thank you, Hugo.
Dan P., welcome to the stage. I'm going to give you the floor to ask whatever, and then I do have a couple questions afterwards from the community as well.
Thank you guys hear me all right? Hello?
Hey, Dan. Yeah, we can hear you okay. Just before you start, I wanted to give a quick thanks to everybody who retweeted the room, all the speakers who made time to be here. At the top, we've got a giveaway going. Also in the Jumbotron earlier in conversation.
When I first read the initial white paper,
Is it me, or are we getting a bit of crosstalk?
Yes, we did. Go ahead, Physical, as you were saying.
Yeah, just wanted to finish up here. Have a second, just for the audience. Thank you for retweeting the room, following the different speakers that made time to be here today, and definitely, the hosts and all of that kind of stuff. In the Jumbotron up at the top of your screen, we have the site that people use for metrics and the FTSO providers can use for metrics. It'll also work for Flare as well. That was brought up with the collusion tools also on there. The one that's currently available is on there. But that's all. I just wanted to bring attention to that and give everybody appreciation. Your go, Dan.
Oh, and also we do have on the Jumbotron, if you want to, as you're listening to the space, be eligible for our NFT giveaways at the end from our different creators here, just go ahead and answer that question. Just list your answer in the comments. Thanks. Go ahead, Dan. Oh, okay. So I'm going to ask one while I bring Dan back up. This one is about the 15%, 85%. Okay, so this is from a community member. If I received Flare in my MetaMask and transfer the 15% to Bifrost to delegate, how would Flare know if I'd sold or delegated to be entitled for the remaining 85%?
Oh, okay. So it's not done by, we don't keep track of you. We don't know who you are. We don't that's not how it works. Essentially, if there's wrapped Flare in an address at the moment of there's 3 snapshots per month. If you have wrapped Flare in the address at that time, that counts towards earning that month's delegation. Distribution. So regardless of what address related to your original snapshot. So essentially, let me give you the most simple example. If only one person wrapped any Flare at all, they would receive that entire month's distribution. If 2 addresses wrapped the same amount of Flare, it would be split 50-50 between them. 3 addresses wrapped the same amount of Flare, it would be split a third, etc. That's how it works.
Okay, another one about that. What if the snapshot happened on Celsius or one of the insolvent networks?
Sorry?
What if the snapshot happened
if you're
on Celsius?
I mean, you might be buggered. I don't know. I wish I had more information on this. I spoke to Celsius about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago. They said that they think they will be able to get the court to approve them to directly to the people it should have been distributed to. But that's not guaranteed, but they are petitioning the court for that. And I said, cool, as soon as you get a yes from the court, we can distribute the Flare to you. We haven't distributed the Flare to them as yet. We don't want it to end up just going to anyone.
Understood. And this might be like a really silly question, but how do the IOU tokens on BitTrue get redeemed?
Nothing to do with me. I have no idea. People come at me about the IOU a lot. I remember when they were first introduced, I said, don't use IOUs, or if you do, be very aware of it. I think BitTrue are absolutely, all my dealings with BitTrue have been absolutely above board and great. But I can't comment on their instrument at all. I literally don't know.
All right. Well, guys, from the stage, do you have anything else?
Hi, Hugo, Gina, everyone. How are you all today?
Fabulous.
Good, thank you. How are you?
I am doing well. Hugo, I have a question for you in regards to the FTSOs. Do you have any advice for people that don't have quite the technical experience to develop an FTSO that wish to be involved as much as they possibly can in the Flare ecosystem?
Delegate to start with. A good one. But do you mean running an FTSO?
Hugo, yeah, eventually developing an FTSO. I'd speak to a number of people that do want to get into developing FTSOs, but they are kind of in an analysis paralysis that they are really
they have a lot of fear in entering.
Understood. So there is a package, an NPM package, which gives this is sort of basic FTSO setup somewhere, which is essentially an unoptimized FTSO. It's on one of our GitHubs. So that's a great place to start. And really, you can take that code and then you can apply your own modeling to it and derive the price however you like and play around with that. And if you don't want to, if you're concerned about anything, do it on something like Costum first.
Claire, I'm getting a lot of feedback from your mic.
There, Hugo.
Let me get that muted. I'm actually driving to Orlando right now, so yeah, my truck is pretty loud. I apologize.
On Discord, there is a FTSO channel there where Neil and Tim and quite a few people help out anyone who's interested in setting up an FTSO, and they kind of direct them.
Thank you, Kingsman. Do you mind if I get with you a little bit later on that?
100%. Just DM me, mate, and I'll send you the link.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. That is what it's all about. Oily Sant, did you have a question? Maybe not. You were patiently waiting. We have Dan P. He's trying to come back up on stage, so definitely want to hear from him. Hey, Dan, are you with us? Hey, Dan, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me this time?
Yes, we totally can. What's up, my friend?
Okay, that's good. Yes, this one was one for Hugo. So I remember reading in the white paper years ago about being able to use your assets. Like, so we've got Flare, like the layer 1 token. You'll be able to use that asset in like layer 2, like sort of whatever apps, and still be able to accrue the layer 1 rewards. Obviously, with Songbird, this hasn't been the case because we're having to sort of delegate our Songbird to Sigma providers to get the rewards. But then if we put those Songbird into like a layer 2, say in the pool on Oracle Swap perhaps, then we stop getting the FTSO rewards and we're having to rely then on the third party to sort of hand the rewards over to us. So I was wondering if for Flare there's something they've got in place to sort of stop that reliance on the third party and where we still be able to accrue layer 1 rewards while using like layer 2 apps.
Well, they're all on the same layer, which is layer 1. Just to be technically annoying. It's very easy for an application to pass those rewards on. You don't have to trust them. They can execute that in code. So that's the whole idea of the system, which is that an application, you don't have to trust an application that they would pass on any delegation. The only thing that application does is it delegates on your behalf. Ultimately, as you know, if the FTSO could be more scalable, which is an area of research, and I think a promising area of research, we can let you, the system would let you have control over your delegating to. So the reason why it's limited at the moment to say an address being able to delegate to 2 different FTSOs is because otherwise we would run into essentially block gas limits, meaning that we'd run into scalability issues. If so can be made substantially more scalable, then an application, you would just tell an application who you want your tokens delegated to. That's the area of research. It's pretty exciting.
Thanks.
But just to be clear, there's no reason for you to have to trust an application to pass on delegated return. That should happen automatically.
Okay. See, I'd imagined when I read the paper, like I thought you'd have like the FLR, which is stay in your wallet as like the sort of native asset, but then you'd have the like WFLR just being a carbon copy of that, which could perhaps only be used for like FTSO and then that was it. So you'd still be able to freely move your FLR around with the WFLR just having that one sort of utility, so it couldn't
Well,
get
no,
a double spend issue.
Then someone else could wrap that, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's it's just that's not feasible.
Okay. Hugo.
Thank you.
Hey, Steve, welcome to the stage, my friend. What's up?
Hey, Jen, how are you? Thanks for having on Hugo. Hugo, how you doing? Nice to chat with you, my friend.
Hey, great to talk to you.
Super excited about the Flare launch. Have been a long time Flare person. So, couple questions. Songbird, that's currently on Bifrost, or I just say Bifrost right now. Will there be any liquidity in Pangolin or Oracle Swap or Flarex? Will there be any liquidity for the Flare token so that I can just swap my SGB to buy more Flare as opposed to having to go through an exchange like BitTrue or Kraken or Uphold?
That is absolutely a great question, and that is feasible with the state connector if someone builds a bridge between the two.
Okay, but that's not something that is currently in play right now?
Not something that we've been working on, but let's be clear, the state connector makes building a bridge between Flare and Songbird very, very simple.
Okay, so that would really be up to like a Pangolin Index or Oracle Swap or one of those to actually just do it.
Yeah, anyone could just build a bridge using the state connector. It's essentially two smart contracts, one on each network.
Okay. Yeah, because I'd like to just take my SGB and just swap it for more Flare tokens, and then obviously wrap them and delegate them. The second question I had was around Layer Cake. Is Layer Cake going to be operational on launch, or is that a secondary phase?
So the network is on. The network is the network. Everything else is an application. I don't talk about applications until they are delivered.
Okay, fair enough. And the same I'd imagine would apply to some of the other partnerships that are out there, or other things like you had mentioned about the opportunity to do crowdfunding, ICO, stuff like that.
Oh, crowdfunding already exists. I think it's called cloud funding.
Cloud, yeah.
That already exists. I think they're onboarding some projects as far as I understand. I love the idea because it lets you delegate. It essentially lets you fund a project by through delegation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm excited about that as well. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Great work, and really excited for this moment to finally come about. So I appreciate the efforts. You bet. Thanks, Jenna.
Thanks. Hey, Hugo, do you have time for just a couple more questions?
Yep, I got 5, and then I got to get on a call about announcements.
Okay, absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead with, I can't pronounce your name. I'm going to call you Nibu. Hi, Nibu. What's up?
Hey, Jenna, how are you? Hey, Hugo, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Very, very good, thank you. Just got a question. Just recently, the recent 2.5 change. What's the pros and cons of being able to increase delegation to like 4 FTSOs? Is that putting too much stress on your end, or is that?
So we can't do that at the moment. If the FTSO becomes more scalable, then we can. There are approaches to making it more scalable that are in research, but at the moment, the 2 is the limit, because otherwise, I mean, let's be clear, you can hack around it by essentially setting up another address. So but it essentially, if everyone did that, the network would become quite essentially be using vast amounts of gas.
Okay, beautiful. We're getting asked that question quite a bit at the moment, because some people with substantial amount, they're like, if they prefer to spread it across 4, maybe, that would probably help.
If you want to spread it across 4, I just recommend using another address, splitting your funds 50-50 between 2 addresses.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Of course.
All right, before we get to Handsome Yeti with your question, and I know Hugo has to leave us, he's got important things to handle, and we appreciate him. We have a really special NFT, Player Ready X, Ready Player X. Do you want to go ahead and present that to Hugo I know you're driving.
Yes, Hugo. I did put together a special NFT for you to kind of celebrate the FTE. I did drop a preview of that in the comments section. There's 3 of them. One for you, one for Jenna, and then I did produce one for Jenna for one of her subscribers.
Oh, I saw that. It was is it somewhat sort of spooky?
Yeah, it's kind of a sugar themed Dawn of the Dead.
Yes, exactly. It's very cool. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
No, I really like it.
Super cool. I love it. That was awesome of you. Thank you so much. And then we'll give out the other one here after Hugo leaves us. Handsome Yeti, I just want to give the floor to you for a moment.
Hi, Jenna. Thanks for hosting. Actually, my question was just what Nebuchadnezzar just asked about spreading out the delegation to more signal providers. I think that would help with the decentralization of the whole process, but Hugo already answered that, so thank you.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And look, as I said, we're always researching how to improve the system. So, if we figure that out, we'll put up a governance proposal.
Hugo, can I ask one last question, which I know you're going to definitely answer because you love giving these predictions. What will be the price of Flare tomorrow?
Why don't I just, I might as well just hand myself into the regulatory bodies right now. Just straight away, like, hey, arrest me. Yeah, that's just a straight no from me.
Nice try. We'll give you that.
Cool. Great. Well, look, hey, everyone be well. I've got many hours of work ahead of me.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And we're pretty excited about tomorrow. I think it's going to be good fun. More importantly, I'm excited about the months and years ahead of hopefully fantastic utility and really great applications.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time and definitely looking forward to everything you're building out.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Bye.
Hugo. Bye.
Thank you, Hugo.
Man, that was absolutely awesome. I hope you guys got a lot of your questions answered with that. Oh, I've got a bunch of requests here. Johnny Crypto's coming up. Now, even though Hugo's gone, I mean, we still have some really knowledgeable people that are up here that are just know all kinds of things about Flare. So if you want to come up and ask questions, definitely go ahead. I do definitely want to hear from the Super Bad Art Series, the designer for that, Nurgle, who is up here. So at some point, I definitely want you to say hey to everybody and what you're working on, and definitely pick out 5. You're giving away 5 NFTs. So 5 people who have commented about what they learned on the space today. I want you to pick your 5 favorite answers, and those people will get NFTs.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I can do that, not a problem. Yeah, it's been a busy year last year, and it's going to be an even busier year this year. I mean, we're trying to build this Unreal Engine 5 game for the Superbad series called Rise of the Deviants. That's a massive thing for us to be doing. These mutants we're giving away, they will be entitled to an airdrop of a Superbad monster, which we will do a snapshot for later this month. And they have been done by Martin Griffiths, the Marvel UK artist, which is really cool. And we're also releasing a comic book soon, which we're taking pre-orders for, which will be done by Martin as well, which is the Rise of the Deviants origin story comic book, which will be coming out. And that will be 20 NFTs. That'll be 1 page every week, near enough, for people who have pre-booked. And at the end of the 20 weeks, you'll get not only the 20 NFT 1 pages, but you'll also get a comic book, which will be an NFT itself, all pre-made, and a physical copy of it, which will be signed by Martin as well, which is really cool. So, yeah, I'll pick out some winners from the comments and send them a tweet.
Awesome. And
that's awesome, Nurgle. It's nice to see you again. You've been building hard, and I love all of the previews that you've been showing with your, I will call it the proof of work, right? Proof of your work, and you've been working. I love the little video clips.
Yeah, cheers, buddy. It's been hard graft affair, and it's really rewarding, to be doing all this stuff for the community. And now we're moving into the res of films, so the super bad monsters, even though the snapshot for the mutants will be on Songbird, the monsters will be our first ones that will be going on to Flare, which is pretty awesome.
Physical, digital, would you mind telling us just a little bit about what you're working on?
Well, let's see. Kind of things for both networks. On Flare, there's already a collection that's ready to go. The advertisement's already made, and that's called Celestial Visage. It's specifically created for PFPs, and there's some people that already have them in the wild, but they're few and far between. And I'm also working on some new future collections, and the two collections for XRP are done. So I'm just waiting for the market to show signs of rebound, and then we'll get those ready to launch and get a date again. But yeah, just working away, always new stuff. And if anybody's ever curious, I always show kind of like a daily worksheet, what I'm doing in Discord in the daily notes, and I'll do weekly video updates too.
Awesome. Good. And I'll help share that out whenever you're doing spaces or whatever about it. It's super interesting. Guys, I just heard about this today. One of my friends, Snoopy's down there. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. There is this little girl. I can't say little girl, but she is 13 years old, and she is an NFT artist, and she's designing for Songbird. Her name is Liz. She has Liz Art NFT, and actually they're kind of in a bad situation right now in Russia. And so things aren't so great. But this girl, she is so talented. And she's also giving away 3 NFTs for this and 100K Liz coins. I thought that was really super cool of her, especially given everything that she has going on. So I'm also going to pick 3 winners who have responded to what they learned in the space or what excites them about Flare Network. So I'll go ahead and pick those out today as well. So I just wanted to let you know, and just to kind of put eyes on her series. It's Liz Art NFT. And also Ready Player X, I want you to kind of just tell us for a couple moments of what you're working on as well.
Thank you, Jenna. As you all probably know, I don't have a lot of information that's out there. That is all by design. I tend to not. I'm a over-deliver, under-promise type of project. I do focus currently on PFPs, but in real life, a lot of technology is being brought into my world, and we are creating a way for physical artists to be present on blockchains with digital representations of their physical work that will be able to be brought in and out of various different metaverses with positions that I hold. These will all be available to physical artists that wish to enter the space and just be able to market themselves in a slightly different way than they're used to. COVID really kind of put a damper on the art industry. So I'm going to help a lot of physical artists enter this space. And then we're going to be able to bring that artwork back out of the metaverse. As things progress, we will be able to do things in full color, and just going to provide digital artists an avenue of being able to have physical art to provide to their followers and their collectors.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anybody else on the stage have any final thoughts for us about Flare, what's going on, anything like that before we wrap it up? And because I'm just going to go ahead and DM winners with the artists, so you guys will know in your DMs if you've commented and you've won.
I apologize. My phone was broke up. I did not know if that was directed to me or not.
No, you're good. I just didn't know if anybody has any final thoughts before we close out the space today.
I just wanted to thank everybody for stopping by and making time this morning. We even got lots of familiar faces in the audience and people that are making a difference. If anybody was perusing, and we have Flare community, Tom T from Flare Network as well. There's Flurry Dank photos. Lots of people for stopping by. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, and also Johnny, I know like you've had some trouble getting up on stage, but I want to give you the stage for a moment. What's up, my friend?
Hey Jenna, how you doing, kiddo? That was freaking awesome. I only caught the end of it, unfortunately. I wasn't able to get here on time, but I did have a question. I was wondering if Hugo answered. By the way, thank you for putting this together. Do you know if he answered what happens to folks who have Flare IOUs, and will that be a one-to-one conversion? Did anybody ask that question, or did he talk about Flare IOUs at all?
So he did answer a question regarding that, but basically he had no part in it and said that he doesn't know the mechanism or how they work, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the Flare Foundation.
Okay, that makes sense. I kind of thought it was going to be exchanged more based on the exchange where you got them from versus that, but I wasn't sure. All right, thanks for that. Appreciate that.
I know, I think Abs is holding on to his. He's like, I just want to know what happens.
Exactly. We're all excited. At least it's finally happening, so that's great. In a couple of days, we're excited to see it happening. So it's good. Great job, Jenna, pulling that all together.
You guys didn't just see the delay?
What?
I'm kidding.
Stop it, Patrick.
I wouldn't be surprised, that's for sure. No, that would not surprise me.
Don't do that to us. Seriously.
But I did just want to say thank you, everyone, for coming, and thank you, Jenna, for doing this and hosting and getting Hugo in here. And for anyone that's new to this space, because of Hugo, Jenna does a lot of these, and she does them with great different people in the space, and not just in the XRP ledger. So give Jenna a follow, and we appreciate everybody for coming out.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Jenna, thank you as well.
Thank you so much, everybody, and check your DMs later to see if you're an NFT winner. Thank you for everyone who came and spoke and asked questions. This is how we learn, so that is what it is all about. I am so grateful for this space today. Definitely answered a lot of my questions, and I forgot to press record on this. However, if you missed anything, I do have it on YouTube. So I was recording the whole thing live streamed to YouTube. So if somebody has questions and wants to catch up, they can find it there, and I'll post that link. All right, y'all.
Right on.
Have an amazing Sunday, guys. Peace out. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.